Hey everybody, it's me, Remy, the comic book poser, and I'm here today to welcome you to Enter the Poserverse. It's Tuesday, so you know what that means. It's time to talk about all the books I plan on picking up on Wednesday, September 15th, in the year of our Lord, 2021, on the holiest of hump days, New Comic Book Day. So to find out what I'm picking up and what I think you should read along with me, you'll have to check it out after this.
Hey, little girl, did you want to know a secret?
I got 5 on it. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Alright, so I have a big and sort of diverse week this week. I'm intrigued to see what kind of things that I've missed out on, that I've been using the fact that I go to a couple of different shops to help. I don't know if I need more diversity in what I'm reading, but I'm sure as hell finding a bunch of things that I haven't planned on. So if you see anything that you've got coming out this week that you think I should pick up, you should let me know in the chat over here. If I'm pointing at the right side, I don't know, this side, yep. Or if you're watching on the rewind, let me know in the comments down below. But we got a couple of books called Batman coming out this week. First up is Batman 89 number 2. I really enjoyed this, kind of in the Batman universe that pulled me into kind of my inner nerddom. That, yes, I was only 5 years old when Batman 89 came out, but it was one of my first experiences with superhero films, so I'm going to love it. And that's paired with Batman The Adventures Continue Season 2, number 4, that, again, this is, you know, a connection to the Batman the Animated Series that I fell in love with as a kid, and I'm getting to rediscover a lot of that love again with my 5-year-old, who is finding the animated series something that he's entertained by. Next up from Cave Studios is Battle Cats number 3. I will be ashamed to admit that I have not read issue number 1 and 2 yet from this arc, so my goal is to make good on that if I forget to have brought them with me to school today, then I'm definitely using the Mad Cave portal and my, you know, sweet press access to help me get caught up on those two. But I love the first series, I love the first 2 arcs of the series. This is the final 6 issues. We will have a definitive end to Battle Cats, and I will be quite sad as we see what is happening in terms of bringing peace or not to the Kingdom of Valkyries. Up next from Aftershock is Beyond the Breach number 3. This is one of the series that I've been surprised by, that I don't think I had number 1 on my pull list, but it was my shop owner's pick of the week it came out, so I immediately picked it up, and, you know, I know that I need to trust those books that he says are good, because I've enjoyed the story that you've heard me talk about this on both weekly pulls on the weekly pull when issue number 2 came out. It made my honorable mentions in the week that number 1 came out, and then you heard me talk about the preview of this issue in the FOC video that I did. Next, we're getting the beginning of a new small arc of Black Widow in number 11. We're getting the Source, Friend or Foe. I like that they're playing with, is it Spider-Girl, in this one, that we're getting to see different elements of friends and other strong female characters across the Marvel Universe kind of playing their way into this series, that I really enjoy. How I feel like Kelly Thompson and the rest of the team assembled are doing a lot of things to, you know, tell us Black Widow stories that I feel like we've not heard very much before, and I think that's probably why it won an Eisner. Next, we got 2 more Aftershock books that I'm quite excited about. We've got Campsie, the Dragon Incident, number 2, and Clans of Fellary, number 3. Campsie is the book about a mafia fixer who has to deal with a dragon showing up right before the rib cook-off, which is the most important thing to happen in the neighborhood. I really liked how kind of irreverent this book was, and kind of matter of fact that a dragon showed up out of nowhere and they were like, ah hell, what are we gonna do? That I like the layers of the story, and it's quite fun. The same is true with Clans of Fellary, that I enjoy the relationship between the father and the daughter. I like seeing kind of the path that we, I think, knew was going to come for her at the end of issue number 2, that we get to see it play its way out, that I want to see how now we might see some, you know, tumultuousness in the society that has been organized and followed the order of, you know, its hierarchical social classes for quite some time. Next up from Image Comics is Deep Beyond number 8. This has been another series that I have loved, and, you know, there's not a book that has come out or is coming out this week where I've been like, I don't know why I'm picking that up yet. right? Somebody counted last week the number of times that I said that. I think it was Travis Gibb, and he was like, I can relate to that. So I haven't said it yet, Travis, so we'll see if that comes out of my mouth yet this week. But Deep Beyond has been this fun, the post-apocalyptic series, dealing with the virus, dealing with the crumbling utopia, dealing with, finding out the identity of who some of the players in this, rebellion really are. And it's just been a good shift from the kind of, disease, dystopian kind of things that I like to read. Next, from Marvels, we've got The Eternals, Thanos Rises, #1. This is borderline. I don't know why I'm picking this up, because I haven't done a lot of reading with The Eternals, but I have read the 2 most recent Thanos series that have come out, so if it's giving us, a little bit more of a rise up, if this is doing anything that is going to help set up some of the world of the film of the Eternals, then at least from an academic perspective, this will work for me in terms of setting up that universe for me to understand more. And if you think there are better storylines for the Eternals that I should check out, again, let me know in the comments, and I'll use my Marvel app to get caught up on those. We've got Extreme Carnage, Agony #1. These books are nothing special. It's a good continuation of symbiote stuff. I feel like you're going to read these if you love all the symbiote stories, and it's an easy pass if you're not into it. I'm not in a hard corner one way or the other. What has a very good chance of being the first book I read this week from AWA Upshot is Fight Girls #3. I have enjoyed this intergalactic Hunger Games where the winner of this tournament is becoming the Queen of the Galaxy. In book #2, we saw really the sheer breadth of how powerful the Imperial powers are at kind of vetting the contestants and maybe controlling the game. So I want to see if we get an extra layer of the gamesmanship from the state playing its way in to manipulating some of the things that happen in these contests. But I like the shifting alliances, that this is just a real, clever story that is a good play on things we've heard or seen a couple of times before with its own little twist. From Black Mass Studios is God Killer, Tomorrow's Ashes #3. To be honest, I think this is the make or break issue of this arc for me in terms of whether or not, I'll finish it, but do I need to keep buying the rest of the issues or buying it in trade? #1 was pretty decent to me. #2 was just okay, so I honestly think #3 will be make or break for me. Next, from Image, we've got Homesick Pilots #9. I don't know what to say about this series that I haven't. It's crazy. It's wild. I like seeing the ghosts play their way in and out. It's just good. Next up from DC is Joker #7. This is, again, something that I've enjoyed, right? I talked in a video that I think you'll see later this week where I pull some Batcat exclusives or a Fear State Alpha. I like seeing Detective Jim Gordon at the height of his detective game, and you get to see a lot of that in this series. I like seeing now that the Joker has escaped, and we get the new Talon, we get another Punchline story in the back, that the Joker and Batman with the Punchline and Ghostmaker stories at the end have been kind of weird to me, but I like how the Punchline one is slowly starting to feel like it's playing in and mattering more. Next from Marvel is Kang the Conqueror #2. I confused Kang with Galactus as I was describing this book last time, so I don't know who I could conflate him with now, but, maybe Kang will be in search of an Infinity Stone and, see if he can snap the universe out of existence. But I do like the idea of looking at young Kang, and we've got Kang replacing Kang, that we're seeing some of those time ripples, with a lot of speculation that Kang the Conqueror will play a bigger role in the next phase of MCU films. I kind of am intrigued in seeing how they are wanting to play different versions of his story. If I don't read Fight Girls first this week, then the other book right at the top of the stack is Man-Eater's The Curse #3. I love what is happening at Craft Camp. That I love that we get the discovery of the members of, or the participants in the camp are all participants in a coven, that they are all in witchcraft and learning different mystical and mythical effects. And I love this cover. That this and the B cover for the book are absolutely brilliant, and some of the reasons that I love the entirety of the creative team behind the Man-Eaters universe, that it's just a good little extra bit of sprinkles on top for a kick-ass book that I'm sure is in the middle. Marauders, Space Pirates, you got it. I just knew the New Mutants were in space, and that's how far behind I am that I still have no goddamn idea what's happening in X-Men. And every week, so you can now count the number of times that I say, I'm behind, but I'll get caught up on that. For X-Men, I've been saying that for 6 months now. A book that if you did not pull it, you better pray is left for you to pick up from a new issues rack, a new issues table, however your shop lays books out, from Boom Studios' Ma #1. My review for this posted to comicbookposer.com, I think it was on Friday. It was either Thursday afternoon or Friday that, I did give a content warning at the top of the blog that this does deal with issues of physical and sexual assault. But aside from that being something that may be a negative trigger to readers, or something that may be uncomfortable if that's an experience that you've been tied to, this does a very excellent job kind of looking at elements of a self-critiquing form of feminism, but then also in the same way that I enjoy Man-Eaters for kind of critiquing critiques of itself from, patriarchal systems of power. Ma is setting itself up to do the same kind of thing, and you know that there's going to be a lot of rhetorical power because of the author that is involved. I loved this book far more than I thought I would, and I knew from the description of it from Final Order Cutoff that it was something that I was going to be intrigued by, and my mind is blown. I think it's only a 5-issue run, but really, really enjoyed issue #1, and I'm excited to hear what other folks have to say about it throughout the week. From Marvel, we get Mighty Valkyries #5. Again, have been enjoying Valkyries. I've been enjoying Thor. I liked Jane Foster Valkyrie. I feel like it's been maybe 2 months since we've read Mighty Valkyries, so I probably need to go back and read #4 to get a freshener in my memory, but I'm down. Another book instantly shooting up towards the top of the stack is our second AWA Upshot book of the week. It's Moths #4. I believe I said when #3 came out, it was my pick of the week, and I think I said it was my favorite artistic book of the year. Oh, I think Mike Choi is putting on an absolute clinic in terms of the art of this book, that between what he is doing and what Simone DeMeo is doing, and we only find them when they're dead, that I think these are two artists that are really changing the nature of art in current comics. And this is separate from some of the other folks that I'm absolutely in love with who play with absurdism, like Joseph Schmalke, or, as gory as I love that things are happening from my man Andrea Moody. These are two people that I think have the ability to change conventions in DeMeo and Choi, but I'm very excited for Moths and how this is setting up what I think is our first big payoff in the Resistance kind of universe in terms of all of these other titles crossing over into it. From Valiant, Ninjak #3 is coming out. I love this book. It is insane from an art perspective that, as bloody and graphic and violent as it is, the art has like a, postmodern Sunday morning cartoon strip kind of feel to it, and I absolutely love it. From Zenoscope is Possessive #2. This got pushed back because I remember talking about how much I love like the bad yearbook photo quality of this cover, where you've got the creepy zombie haunting the house figure over the family. So I'm excited to finally check this out. I also need to email folks at Zenoscope. I want on your press list. I'm loving all the things that I'm picking up from you all, and I don't know why it took me so long to get in there. You were right, I was wrong. I'm sorry. One of the books that Image has been pushing in terms of having stuff at the preview pages at the end of a couple of different episodes is Primordial #1. This is the entire creative team behind Gideon Falls, which I am slowly getting through. That I arrived late to the party on that one, only because it was on, halfway ongoing when I hopped back into comics. but I like the idea of what happens to the animals that we shoot into space. Following that is Scumbag number 10. I want to see what Ernie does on the moon. From Boom is 7 Secrets 12. This series has grown on me, especially from issue 7 on. So I want to see if the Traitor becomes successful. I also can't remember if we've seen a pronounced number of issues for this series, or if there's the potential for this to evolve as long as it remains popular. Coming up next from Marvel is Spider-Woman number 15. I feel like I might be the only person in the universe who every month a Spider-Woman issue comes out, I talk about how much I love it. But that's okay, you all can apologize to me later. I love what is happening now. We see danger facing both Jessica Drew's child and her best friend, so I want to see Mama go buck wild. I'm also getting closer and closer to completing, at least having every Spider-Woman solo issue from volumes 1 to current. I'm getting there, and then I'm going to start chasing variants, and then I might be foolish enough to chase direct versus newsstand. I'm hooked, y'all. Next from Image is Time Before Time number 5. It's the end of the first story arc. We get to find out if Tetsuo and Nadia make it back to their place in time as they are kind of working their way from the Time Mafia, the Time Gang, that they had been captured by and tried to flip and work with. This has been an interesting storyline thus far, so I'm intrigued to see what the cliffhanger is, to see if it makes me want to pull issue number 6 when it comes out, or if I'm going to be willing to trade wait Time Before Time's second arc when it comes out. Y'all know I'm foolish, and I'm probably going to pull individual issues anyway. Next from Black Mask is White number 3. I never got my copy of White number 2, and it's because of allocation issues, so if anybody out there has a printing of White number 2 that you want to send my way, let me know. I have a first and a second printing of number 1 that I can offer up for trade somehow, maybe, please. I hope I get number 3. If not, I'm going to go on the hunt for it, because I like, as much as I loved Black and Black AF, I am very intrigued by what happened in issue number 1 to kind of bring this series to completion for me. And then the final book that I plan on pulling this week is X-Men: The Trial of Magneto number 2. Habeas Corpses. Ha ha ha, dad joke. I'm still behind, apparently, what he killed the Scarlet Witch, and that got spoiled for me by just reading the description of Trial of Magneto number 1, so here's my second. I don't know when I'll get caught up on X-Men. Alright, in terms of Scout, they've got 3 books coming out this week after 8 books last week because of a printing delay. I don't know if this is going to cause any waves for these books. I've not seen anything in my email from Scout pushing things in one direction or the other. But we've got the Kick-Ass Vampire Story and Stake. I'm still 2 issues behind on this one. When Midnight Western Theater number 4 came out, I got yelled at for saying I'm behind. I read issue number 3 on Sunday, so I'm almost caught up for this, but it is the finale of this series, so I've really enjoyed what is happening in this series thus far, so there's a very good chance that it makes my weekly picks if I get caught up. And then last book is Night of the Cadillacs number 1. It was not in this month's Scout box, which means I'll get it physically at the end of the month. There is also a good chance that if any of the shops that I frequent have it, I might pick it up because it combines Lost Boys and Warriors. Who would pass that up? But this looks intriguing, and if I don't find it physically, then when Scout does our new releases are live for you to review email, which typically comes out either on Friday or Tuesday, then I'll be excited to check this one out, hands down. What do you think? Is there anything that I missed out on? If so, and we were watching on the rewind, let me know in the comments below. If you're here with me live in the premiere, then you've probably let me know in the chat. We are also inching closer and closer and closer to that 1,100 subscriber giveaway mark. You can check out the video that I remember to link up here for 2 days in a row to tell you about that giveaway. But once we hit the mark, I will announce how you enter it and give you a little taste of some of the things that may appear in that box of mystery. But that's all I got. In terms of stuff for the rest of the week, I might have an auction on Thursday night on Whatnot. There is a chance that I might get pushed because of a meeting that I'm going to have in terms of some channel development announcements. So pay attention to my social medias, but I've got some fun things that I've unboxed this week that you're going to see a massive series of pickups from the boy who had 7, an opening of both my Simpleman Comics Bounty Box and my 616 Comics Color Tiers Mystery Box. There's probably going to be some Legos. There's probably going to be using my cute kids as clickbait and all of the other things that you love to make fun of on the channel. But that's what I see coming up. And as always, y'all, thanks for stopping by. And have a good one.
Hey, little girl, did you want to know a secret?
I got 5 on it. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4.